have shaped who I am today. Here's the first one. Now, how many of you here are afraid of something? Be it a fear of heights, a fear of insects, fear of, I don't know, talking to girls? Chloe, I see you, Hakeem, right? So, everyone has a fear. As a kid, I was afraid of mathematics. I feared it, and I hated it. Primary school was okay, it was all just numbers. It was very doable. Then came secondary school, and they introduced all these alphabets and all these variables. And it all just went downhill from there. I don't care what the value of x is, right? I scraped through. I somehow made it. I passed my examinations. I did well for my finals, right? And I thought, hey, I conquered this. Why not do advanced mathematics for junior college? Or senior secondary, as we call it in India. So I took it up, right? and it was hell. It was so bad. Oh my. So, semester 1, I think it would be okay. It wasn't okay. My boyfriend at the time, he scored a 92 for the exam, right? And we studied together for this. I scored a 29, an exact 29. I failed the exam. And this was the first paper that I'd ever failed. I was devastated. I didn't know what to do, I'd never faced failure of that sort before. But I said, hey, you know what? I can't cry about this too much. Let me try harder. And I tried harder, but all my efforts in vain. I failed almost every examination that year, the first year of JC, until the last one. I barely passed the last one by 9 marks. 9 marks, and I was promoted to the second year. And it was a do-or-die situation, It was either that, you leave math because it's optional, or you study hard, you score well for it. And being the person that I am, I chose the latter. I failed the first few examinations again. Then I said to myself, I gotta pull myself together, study hard for the exam, and pass, if not score well. So every day I would wake up at 3:55 a.m., right? Would start practicing math at 4 a.m., practice until 6, get to school at 7:30, attend my classes religiously every day, talk to my teachers right after class to make sure I understood whatever happened in class, go back, talk to my friends about math, like who does that, right? And after I went back home, I practiced again. I did this for weeks, for months, in fact. And then came my preliminary examinations. I was feeling more confident. Got my papers back, and guess what? I failed. Again. I had a month and a half before my final examinations, which would determine everything. And I said to myself, there's no backing out now because, I can't drop the subject, so let me just try harder. And I tried every day. From 4 hours, went to 6 hours. I was talking to everybody about mathematics, and that's all I was talking about. D-Day. My exam was... It had to start at 9:30. I think it was 9 o'clock, and something unexpected happened. And it broke me, and I walked into the examination hall with tears in my face. I'll get back to the story later. Let's get to another story. So when I was a kid, I used to look like shit, right? I did, oh my God. And then puberty hit. Like, thank God. Right? And this was 9th grade, I think Sec 4. And I was suddenly the center of attention, right? So all the boys were talking about me. And it was really new, it was really weird. But it felt really great, And there was this youth festival that the school was organizing, and there was supposed to be this fashion show. And I was one of the 2 girls who was selected from my batch. And I said, wow, this is so great. So this was organized by the seniors, and suddenly it was the seniors who were talking about me. So this was a big deal. It wasn't just the juniors or the people from my batch anymore, it was the seniors, right? This was a big deal. And then, they started talking to me, they started hitting on me, they started flirting with me. And I was too young to realize what was happening. I honestly was. I did not realize that they had crossed a certain limit. It did get to a point of sexual abuse. And I was 14 at the time. It took me a while to realize what had gone wrong. Now, the two people who were involved in this abuse, one of them, he was attached, he had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend was naive enough to believe that it wasn't the boyfriend, it was my fault. So I was the victim and I was being blamed for all that had happened, right? So one day after school, she decides to confront me with 20 other people from her batch, all seniors, right? They corner me, they call me names, they bully me, they say things that make me cry. I was 14 at the time. No attention paid to that. And the bullying didn't stop there. It went on, and it did not stop. It got to the point where I wanted to change schools. I did not want to live the life that I was living. I wanted to start over. Right? I was desperate. I wanted to get out. But every day I pulled myself up and I told myself, you know what, this is not it. I've got to move forward. And I did eventually get forward. It was a year, every day, 365 days I tried, and I moved forward in the end. And I paid attention to the things that really mattered. My relationship with my parents and my grades. So I did extremely well for my examinations in the end. And my parents were proud of me. I took care of the things that mattered to me. On the day of my final examination, my mathematics examination, I had a terrible fight with my boyfriend. I loved him, and I gave it all that I had, and it kept us together, but that came at the cost of my self-respect and my self-esteem. I wanted to get out of it, but I couldn't. Until 6 months later, I said, this is it. And I walked away. So the point that I'm trying to raise here is that failure is not a bad thing. Each time you fail, you pick yourself up. You fight it. You learn from your mistakes. And you get back on track. Because in the end, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Thank you very much.
Shana, don't fail to shake my